What's up, guys? Fat Cap here. So I want to talk to you guys about an issue that I find comes up a lot when you're coaching, new traders or people who are still in their 9 to 5, haven't gone full time yet. And the blanket term for the problem is over trading, right? But I believe the symptom that causes the problem is an issue with the relationship of input versus output in trading. And it's something that's ingrained in all of us from the time we're young and eventually needs to be deprogrammed. And your whole life you're told the more work you do, the harder you work, the more money you'll make. Maybe you're paid by the hour. The more hours you work, the more money you make. Maybe you hang drywall. The more board you hang, the more money you make. You're a bricklayer, same difference. You're paid by the brick, you're paid by the board. Maybe you file income tax. The more taxes you file, the more money you make. Trading isn't like that. The more trades you take does not necessarily mean the more money you make. In fact, in many cases, it's the very opposite. Less is more, is what I find. So people come in and they're still in that mindset, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's ingrained in all of us through the education system, through the school systems, through everything, right? They're designed to produce workers. That's the whole thing. They're meant to prepare you to go work for someone else, and someone else wants as much output out of you as they can get, and in exchange they will give you more money, right? It's not your fault. That's just the way the world is geared, right? We live in that kind of a society. So the deprogramming of that is something that I find a lot of people struggle with, and it's something that eventually needs to happen, because clicking the button 5 times today doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make 5 times as much as had you only clicked the button once. In fact, in many cases, I find you click the button once and you make your 4 or 5 hour, you click it 4 more times, you're just going to give more of that back. There's not a direct relationship with trades taken versus money earned. And I find a lot of people, they come in, and in the beginning, the harder you work, the more effort you put in, the faster you progress. You learn the technicals, you learn all that stuff, you get your back testing done, your case studies, all that. But then when you get to the real market, you're so used to powering through on FX replay and clicking the button all of these times to take all these trades, and now you can't do that anymore. You got to wait. You got to let the candles print. The market does what it does in its own time, right? So there's a shift that needs to happen there where you start to accept that more action doesn't mean more progress. A wise man once said, "You can run in place all day, but you'll be no further ahead. You're not going to cover any ground." Don't confuse movement with progress. And that's something that I'm currently trying to ingrain more into the Omega course. We're trying to switch it up at this point because we have the technicals, we have the technical content. The pro section is almost done being recorded, is going to be released. That's for the more advanced people. But at this point, the technicals are there, the plan is there, the results are there. There's, I think, 16 weeks of weekly stats on the Instagram page. And while we're not putting those out every week anymore, they're still posted at the end of every day for the members in end-of-day recaps. And it's broken down pair by pair, trade by trade, win-loss, break-even. While I'm not totaling them up at the end of the week anymore, it takes 2 seconds to scan through it and see what the end numbers were. So now I'm going to start working on building out the psychology section, because we know the technicals are there, we know the edge works, there's countless data, and we see it day in and day out. So now we're going to take a shift and start building out the psychology section and try to turn people from workers into traders and get them into that trading mindset.